Hey my people, it's the Iron Underneath bringing you another video. I wanted to bring you just a really quick video. I was out gardening and I was listening to A Storm of Swords on an audiobook, and I just found something in one of the Davos chapters where he's just drowned and been spat back up on the rock where the spears of the Merlin King are. And I wanted to play it for you because it's really interesting, and I think it's why he is at where he's at right now in the show. And it's just cool. Listen.
By then, but he was afraid. Was he past the chain yet? Was he out in the bay? If he came up under a ship, he would drown. And if he surfaced amidst the floating patches, his first breath would sear his lungs to ash. He twisted in the water to look up, but there was nothing to see but green darkness. And then he spun too far, and suddenly he could no longer tell up from down. Panic took hold of him. His hands flailed against the bottom of the river and sent up a cloud of mud that blinded him. His chest was growing tighter by the instant. He clawed at the water, kicking, pushing himself, turning, his lungs screaming for air, kicking, lost now in the river murk, kicking until he could kick no longer. When he opened his mouth to scream, the water came rushing in, tasting of salt, and Davos Seaworth knew that he was drowning. The next he knew, the sun was up, and he lay on a stony strand beneath a spar of naked stone, with the empty bay all around him, and a broken mast, a burned sail, and a swollen corpse beside him. The mast, the sail, and the dead man vanished with the next high tide, leaving Davos alone on his rock amidst the spears of the Merlin King. His long years as a smuggler had made the waters around King's Landing more familiar to him than any home he'd ever had, and he knew his refuge was no more than a speck on the charts, in a place that honest sailors steered away from, not toward. Though Davos himself had come by it once or twice in his smuggling days, the better to stay unseen. When they find me dead here, if ever they do, perhaps they will name the rock for me, he thought. Onion Rock, they'll call it. It will be my tombstone and my legacy. He deserved no more. The father protects his children, the Septons taught. But Davos had led his boys into the fire. Dale would never give his wife the child they had prayed for, and Allard, with his girl in Old Town, and his girl in King's Landing, and his girl in Bravos, they would all be weeping soon. Mathis would never captain his own ship as he dreamed. Marek would never have his knighthood. How can I live when they are dead? So many brave knights and mighty lords have died, better men than me, and high-born. Crawl inside your cave, Davos. Crawl inside and shrink up small, and the ship will go away, and no one will trouble you ever again. Sleep on your stone pillow, and let the gulls peck out your eyes while the crabs feast on your flesh. You feasted on enough of them. You owe them. Hide, smuggler, hide, and be quiet and die. The sail was almost on him. A few moments more, and the ship would be safely past, and he could die in peace. His hand reached for his throat, fumbling for the small leather pouch he always wore about his neck. Inside he kept the bones of the 4 fingers his king had shortened for him, on the day he made Davos a knight. My luck. His shortened fingers pattered at his chest, groping, finding nothing. The pouch was gone, and the finger bones with them. Stannis could never understand why he'd kept the bones. To remind me of my king's justice, he whispered through cracked lips. But now they were gone. The fire took my luck as well as my son's. In his dreams the river was still aflame, and demons danced upon the waters with fiery whips in their hands, while men blackened and burned beneath the lash. "Mother, have mercy," Davos prayed. "Save me, gentle mother. Save us all. My luck is gone, and my sons." He was weeping freely now, salt tears streaming down his cheeks. "The fire took it all. The fire." Perhaps it was only wind blowing against the rock, or the sound of the sea on the shore. But for an instant, Davos Seaworth heard her answer. "You called the fire," she whispered, her voice as faint as the sound of waves in a seashell, sad and soft. "You burned us, burned us, burned us." "It was her," Davos cried. "Mother, don't forsake us. It was her who burned you, the Red Woman. Melisande, her." He could see her, her heart-shaped face, the red eyes, the long coppery hair, the red gowns moving like flames as she walked, a swirl of silk and satin. She had come from Asshai in the east. She had come to Dragonstone and won Selyse and her queen's men for her alien god. And then the king, Stannis Baratheon himself. He had gone so far as to put the fiery heart on his banners, the fiery heart of R'hllor, Lord of Light, and God of Flame and Shadow. At Melisandre's urging, he had dragged the seven from their sceptred Dragonstone and burned them before the castle gates, and later had burned the Godswood at Storm's End as well, even the Heart Tree, a huge white weirwood with a solemn face. "It was her work," Davos said again, more weakly. "Her work, and yours, Onion Knight. You rode her into Storm's End in the black of night, so she might loose her shadow child. You are not guiltless, no. You rode beneath her banner, and flew it from your mast. You watched the seven burn at Dragonstone, and did nothing. She gave the fathers justice to the fire, and the mothers mercy, and the wisdom of the crone, smith and stranger, maid and warrior. She burned them all to the glory of her cruel god. And you stood and held your tongue, even when she killed old Maester Cresson. Even then, you did nothing." The sail was 100 yards away and moving fast across the bay. In a few more moments, it would be past him and dwindling. Sir Davos Seaworth began to climb his rock. He pulled himself up with trembling hands, his head swimming with fever. Twice his maimed fingers slipped on the damp stone and he almost fell, but somehow he managed to cling to his perch. If he fell, he was dead, and he had to live. For a little while more, at least. There was something he had to do. The top of the rock was too small to stand on safely.
There was something important he needed to do. Davos, oh God, I love that. I love that part, and I never really, you know how you get so much more on a reread. I never noticed he was by the spears of the Merling King, and I mean, I didn't really know the significance of it. I don't think when I was reading A Storm of Swords before, and I also didn't realize that he had drowned, as so many people have, and I'm gonna do a video on that because it's really interesting to me how many people have drowned and come back with these notions of what they need to do, and that his finger bones were lost at sea. There's something about bones and the drowned god and the sea, and there's also that patch face rhyme that I'm going to also put in one of my videos about the bastards of Westeros that I think has a lot to do with Patchface's prophecy at Castle Black when he said he would lead them, they would march under and out of the sea on seahorses, blowing with mermaids blowing seashells to announce they're coming. So that is, seahorses are the Valerion family. The House Valerion sigil is a seahorse, and they've always been the seafarers. They've been master of ships and grand admiral for the Targaryens, and now Cersei just appointed Oreen Waters, the bastard of House Valerion, to master of ships, grand admiral of ships, and he took off with the royal fleet, and he's in the Stones. There's a pirate king, which is so wonderful. It's such a nod to Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. I love it. So he's not really a pirate king. He's doing something. I think that's where Gendry rode. Who knows? But this, to me, just says Davos has to go to Jon Snow, and that's his real purpose. It wasn't Stannis. That's what Mel's crying about over the fire with Davos in the trailer, saying, I got it all wrong. I got it all wrong. She kept seeing snow in her fires. She kept seeing. She had to light that sword for Stannis for it to glow and catch fire. So it was all a farce, and it was a horrible farce that cost a lot of people their lives, and a lot of them are in the sea. So I just thought I'd bring you that because it's incredibly interesting, and I love it when I find things like that in rereads, and now I can share it on a video. It's so cool. So if you like, and please subscribe and like down below. I'm so happy I have 17 subscribers. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. And I'm still doing my giveaway of a hat to the person who I think has the most interesting concept or version comment on R plus L equals J, or what you think the combination is that equals Jon Snow, or who are his parents? Is he a twin? Is R plus L equals J true? What do you think? And I'm going to give that hat away really soon. I'm going to be in California this weekend, but I might try to do it there after we will watch Game of Thrones on Sunday night. And I wanted to show you this t-shirt that I've been going on and on about for all of my videos. My friend Casey over at Mythos of Ice and Fire, I won her contest. She's going to do a video on the Crypts of Winterfell. And I had an idea about it, so I won the contest, and I got to pick a shirt. I picked the Lannister shirt because that's the house she loves. And it's hand embossed, hand done, hand sewn. It's incredibly, wonderfully soft and nice material, comfortable. You can get t-shirts and racerback tanks. You can get purses. They're a really cool company, and so I'm going to leave a link below to them also, fencingandarchery.com. And pretty soon for my subscribers, I'll have a code for you so you can get a discount. So I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, and again, please like and subscribe below. Thank you. See you soon.